For more on this, let's bring in the one, the only Art Laffer, former Ronald Reagan economist and co-author of The Trump Economic Miracle. Mr. Laffer, always a pleasure to see you, dear sir. Tariffs.
Reagan, thank you.
I love to watch President Trump set people's hair on fire. As Larry Kudlow said earlier, that Bloomberg person is a Keynesian. He's a big spender. He's never going to convince him otherwise. But if you look at tariffs coupled with low and lower taxes, Art, that encourages and favors work over consumption. That drives growth. That drives productivity. The more we talk about it and look at it through that lens, that's a winner.
But when you look at his policies on taxes, they're all really clever. They're really pro-growth. I mean, whether you be the tips, whether you be limiting the SALT tax deduction limitation, whether you talk about no tax on overtime, whether you talk on automobile loan interest being deductible, all those are correct economics, and they all are very pro-growth. When you hear Trump talk about tariffs, I've watched him over the 4 years he was in office, as well as his discussions now. Tariffs. And he talks about reciprocity. Larry Kudlow always talks about reciprocity. These guys have tariffs and barriers against the United States. He is threatening tariffs to them so that they won't have access to the U.S. markets, so they'll come and negotiate good reciprocity and free trade agreements, just like he did in his first term. He did the USMCA, I think it was called. It was terrific. It was much better than NAFTA. He did the one with South Korea, which is great. The Japan deal was also freer trade, better things, more free trade. He did Brazil. He did Ecuador. All of these were free trade. When he was at the G7 in Ottawa, he was perfectly clear. I need reciprocity, and if we don't get reciprocity, I'm not going to give you access to our markets. And that's his threatening position for getting a really good deal, and he was very successful doing it. I'm just a huge fan of how he did those deals and how he did it. I don't have the guts or the stamina or the will. I cry quickly, Dagan, but he did a great job on getting those.
But Art, I think the point with the reciprocal trade is, again, when you're a free trader only and the other countries put tariffs on your products, it costs you American jobs. And so if you take the position, we're going to put tariffs on your products just like you do on ours, what it leads to, Art, is it leads to free trade. You get rid of all these barriers, and in a free trade environment, I think the American worker wins.
American worker wins hugely. You know, the only thing these other countries care about is access to the huge U.S. market for their goods. And if we threaten their access to our market, they will come back to us and negotiate a deal. That's what he did with John Deere. You know, don't just leave the country. Come talk to me. Let's do a deal. Let's get something to get John Deere to stay here and to keep the production here. Don't just put them all out there and let's deal, sit down and deal. How can we make the U.S. better off and let's say Japan better off, and the other countries better off? And I think he's perfectly willing to do great deals for the United States that will create jobs, create power, and create wealth here in the United States. And, you know, if he uses tariffs as a threat to get them to come to the negotiation table, God bless him. I don't have the guts or the ability. I'm a wuss all the way. I give my fallback position right away, and I cry. But Donald Trump is not Arthur Laffer. He is much better than I am on all these things, and he really gets it done. He gets it delivered.
And that was the thing that chapped my backside so much, among many things, Art.
What?
When President Obama was talking about the Trump economy and said, well, that was my economy. I handed it to him. And I thought, you had, in 8 years, had the slowest recovery since World War II because of your higher taxes, and you regulated or took control of vast swaths of the economy. So we know what a liberal Obama delivered, and we know what a Kamala Harris or a Joe Biden will deliver. And it's been nothing but pain and misery for the American people.
Yeah, they don't understand economics, Dagan. That's just very simply when you hear Trump talk impromptu. It's clear every sentence he does. He understands economics. He understands business. He does things correctly here. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was spectacular. I mean, what he did with some of the other ones there, I mean, Operation Warp Speed, how wonderful was that? Decontrol of oil. He has a flavor of understanding of economics intuitively, and he did a great job. And, you know, some of the mistakes that Reagan made in his first term, Trump did not make. Trump didn't phase in the tax cuts. Trump knew very well that if you phase in the tax cuts, it won't work as well. He did it right away, bang. It was just very good. I honestly believe, Dagan, that Trump was the best first-term president in U.S. history in economics. Now, I only talk economics, but I mean, what he did in all these policies was just fantastic. The Supreme Court justices on overruling the regulatory agency's abilities to legislate through regulation, that was fantastic. I mean, all of the stuff he did on the economy was great. And if you look at the results were as good as you possibly could get. I mean, if it hadn't have been for COVID-19, he'd have been elected in a super big landslide in 2020. As it was, we had this horrible COVID-19 thing, and whatever it was, he lost. But Trump was by far the best first-term president ever.
And Art, good economics is good politics, and the Trump focus has been on the American worker, which has been brilliant, which is why the working class American has come out in such big numbers for him. But we've got to run. Art, thank you for being with us. We always appreciate it. Wonderful.
Well, it's true. You're right, by the way. Thank you, Sean. He does great.
Yep.
Thank you, Art.
All right, it's a sprint to the finish line with Election Day.